While there's now more choice in the electric vehicle industry than ever before, with new models launching on an almost monthly basis, the ongoing chip shortage caused by the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic and the invasion of Ukraine by Russia has led to impossibly long waitlists for new vehicles. It's pushed the price of used cars up, both internal combustion engine and electric, and as inflation continues to rise and petrol prices remain high, more people than ever before are wanting to dump the pump and go electric. For those wanting to see the transition away from fossil fuels and toward cleaner, greener solutions, this is great news. I mean, just 5 years ago, if I'd seen a single electric car while I was out and about, I would have got very excited. These days, I'll see between 30 and 40. But for those wanting to get behind the wheel of a new electric vehicle, this is pretty tough. High demand and low availability means prices are getting pushed ever higher, either through continual manufacturer price hikes, as Tesla famously does, or via unscrupulous dealers willing to cash in on demand with additional dealer markups, aka price gouging. Either way, it's bad news for those wanting to get behind the wheel. And as I said in this video from October last year, when I said it might not be the best time to buy a new EV, there's a link in the description, many people could stand to benefit from holding off their new car purchase. However, if you are really keen on getting plugged in as quickly as possible, or need a car and have none at the moment, I'm here to tell you some tips and tricks to make sure that you don't get screwed. But first, a quick reminder that if you like our special blend of content, we would all love it if you'd consider hitting subscribe and the notification bell, as well as checking your notification preferences for this channel, as well as sharing your favourite videos from this very network with your friends, colleagues, and loved ones. And if you want to go one step further, just stick around until the end and I'll tell you the ways that you can help this channel to grow. This video is going to be split up into two distinct sections, new and used car advice. But because everyone always looks at new cars first, I'm going to turn the tables and look at used cars. It's no secret that in the last 2 years, the used prices of EVs have skyrocketed. Cars like the Fiat 500e, a perfect commuter pocket rocket for short-range travel, have gone from being somewhere between $8,000 to $12,000 to pushing in excess of $15,000 to maybe even $18,000. And even with the ongoing battery recall, a good condition used Chevrolet Bolt EV is now retailing, even without its battery recall completed, at 25 grand plus. In Europe and other markets around the world, the very same story exists, with cars that were once eminently affordable on the used car market now closer to near new prices. And with that in mind, it is worth knowing exactly what you're looking for before you make that purchase decision. Or to put it another way, you've got to do lots of legwork and research first. Watch reviews, hang around on Owners Club forums, and be willing to ask questions about known faults and how to identify them. Then try to get some time behind the wheel of the vehicle you're interested in. You can do that by finding a car local to you where you can get a test drive, even if it's actually out of your target price range, or, as is often the case, find a local owner through a local EV group or owners forum willing to let you have a spin. In this kind of climate, knowing a car is a good fit for you is essential before actually beginning the hunt for the vehicle that you might end up buying, since there can be lots of competition. A case in point, when our camera guy Michael had his Fiat 500 Turbo written off in a hit and run, he needed a car quickly, and so we found him a Chevrolet Volt for sale about 50 miles away. We turned up first thing the day after it was listed, and it already had 3 people there at the dealership interested in buying it. By the time you arrive to look at a car, you should really know if you're serious about getting it. So once you have your shortlist of vehicles you'd like to buy, start looking around for examples. Sites like cars.com are a good place to start in some markets and not in others because cars are often sold before the listing goes up. Additionally, eBay and Craigslist can also be good places to look. But there are two resources people might not immediately think of, which could net you the best chances of getting an affordable used EV in today's climate: owners' forums and new car dealerships. While it's fair to say that most people look to trade in their old car at the dealership when buying a new one, some auto dealerships like to get a little penny pinching on the price and either lowball the person trading their car in or refuse it. And if you already own your car outright, frankly, selling it privately usually gets you a better deal. Anyway, owners' forums are a great place to look since cars posted for sale there are usually well looked after by reasonably knowledgeable and enthusiastic owners. As to the other one, new car dealerships, well, that is, again, an unexpected source of good potential cars to buy. Since most new car buyers will just trade in their old car when they buy a new one, dealerships accepting trade-ins, especially if those trade-ins are older cars, would rather flip that trade-in as quickly as possible than they would try to get the very highest value they can on their lot, especially if they don't have a lot of space or aren't specialists in the make and model being traded in. In which case, they would probably plan to sell the car on at trade to another dealership or independent car trader, who will then, of course, go on to spruce said car up to flog it for the highest price. But if you time it just right, you might be able to find a car that has just been traded in, and some dealerships would rather you pay them a decent amount of money to take it off their hands than go through all of the rigmarole of selling it on at a trade auction. That's also how Michael got his Volt. The car had been traded in on the Saturday by a customer who was trading up to a full EV, and it hadn't even been cleaned when he test drove it on Sunday and made an offer. Of course, if you're someone who wants to play chase the deal, be ready to make trips at a moment's notice to look at any vehicle. And it's important to have all of your paperwork in order, like identification documents, proof of income, and/or loan pre-approval, or cold hard cash, when you're going to look at the vehicle. Remember also how I said you should be familiar with the car you're looking to buy ahead of time? This should also help you when you're chasing those few cars available for a good price. Knowing what the car should behave like when you test drive it and knowing what might be a problem is a valuable bargaining chip to make sure you're not screwed over. In a similar vein, knowing what recall work should have been done on that make and model and asking to see proof of it having been done can save you a major headache in the future, as is knowing how to check battery health. Again, owners' forums for the vehicle you're looking to buy are a great place to learn how to do that. Oh, and lest I forget, be very wary of on-the-spot aftermarket warranty packages offered by dealerships on used cars. They like to do it because it earns them a lot of money, but don't sign anything until you are absolutely convinced that the warranty covers what you probably want it to cover: drivetrains and battery packs, because most used car warranty packages don't. Which brings me to new cars. Right now, unless you are extremely lucky, you are very unlikely to get a good walk-in deal at a new car dealership on a new EV. Wait lists are long, and when a customer cancels an order, dealerships are likely to want to sell that car at a high profit, even if they agreed to sell the car to the person who originally ordered it at MSRP. So special deals are frankly unlikely to be forthcoming. Which, by the way, is a very good reminder. No matter what you may have heard from some parts of the internet, additional dealer markups on new cars isn't something that every car dealership does. Sure, there are some that do, But most automakers are cracking down on it, especially when it comes to EVs. And as I will explain in a moment, there are ways to secure yourself from those who do. But frankly, when a dealership has a customer cancel their order after the car has been made and is on its way, even if they agreed with the original customer to sell at MSRP, they will generally increase the price of an on-forecourt car to maximize that profit. Like used cars, you should of course do your research before you make a confirmed new car order, and these days you may find yourself buying or at least ordering blind. Do your homework, watch reviews, and make sure the vehicle suits your needs before you commit to buying. And if you can, try and get a test drive. Additionally, since it's likely you'll be buying your car anywhere from 6 months to a year or more after you order it, be honest with yourself about how you're going to feel in the future. Will there be a new car that you might want instead? Sticking it out for the long run can be hard. And here I'm speaking from personal experience. My wife and I ordered a Ford Mustang Mach-E last summer, but when the car actually arrived in February, we decided against buying it because we had a change of circumstances. It sucked, but it was the right decision for us, and our dealership, who had agreed to sell it to us at MSRP, was cool about it because they knew they could make a profit on our car. And by the way, we're buying our Ford F-150 from them at MSRP. Which brings me to the bit where we talk about ordering. Why it's important to take your time. It is also worth noting that most new EVs require you to get in line with some form of refundable deposit before you actually finalize your order. It secures you a place in the queue, and even if you end up deciding that vehicle is not for you, it may be worth putting your name down just in case. I mean, that's essentially how my wife and I ended up ordering a Mustang Mach-E. And it's how several friends have put in orders for Ford F-150 Lightnings, Rivian R1Ts, and Tesla Cybertrucks all at the same time. They're basically gonna wait and see which vehicle arrives first and pick that one as their new truck. However, and this is big, please, for all that is sacred, do your research on local dealers before you put that deposit down. While it's sometimes possible to change dealers after confirming your order, it can sometimes be a pain. So it's important to make sure that the dealer you've chosen isn't going to pull a bait and switch when it comes to pricing. Additionally, when you do lock in your order, get it in writing that your chosen dealership is going to honour the MSRP. If they won't give it to you in writing, then don't order the car from them and go look elsewhere. Unscrupulous dealerships will try anything to pretend there are hidden costs, while a good dealer who cares about their reputation and wants to keep you as a customer for a long time will give you a price promise at the point of ordering. And that is why it is so important to look around and find out who is good and who isn't locally. And if you can't find a dealership you trust local to you, consider going online. Several dealerships now operate online sales divisions and will happily sell you a car from hundreds or even thousands of miles away because they'd rather get the sale from you at MSRP and potentially have you back in the future as a return customer, even if you're only an internet sales one, than they would bleed you dry and miss out on the sale. But what if you're not in line to buy? Well, again, there are some tips and tricks. Check out owners' forums and local classifieds. Sometimes you will find someone looking to sell their place in line, and while it's not always legally straightforward, and some dealerships may look unfavourably on it, you could maybe find someone willing to help you take their place in the queue, usually for some form of price. Oh, and just like used car buyers, make sure you have all of your credit and financing stuff sorted before you walk in the door. You will save yourself so much hassle, and it also proves that you are serious about buying that vehicle. Finally, for new and used cars, make sure you know the actual market value of the vehicle you're looking at. Kelley Blue Book, the website, not the publication, should keep a pretty good track on prices, and TrueCar is the same. So there you have it, our tips for getting a new or used EV right now, when frankly buying a car is probably not the best thing to be doing. That's it for today. If you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave your thoughts below or in our free to join Discord chat room. There are links in the video description. And if you want to tell us how awesome we are without leaving YouTube, then why not try a super thanks? It is easy to pass on the love, and it all goes to helping the channel grow. Don't forget, we also produce videos every single day on this network for you to enjoy, ranging from deep dives and features to tutorials, unboxings and reviews. And if you want the most comprehensive roundup of all of the news in the EV world on a weekly basis, do check out our TEN news show every Saturday. If you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed to this channel and our other channel, Transport Evolved Take 2, and give that bell a gentle ding to make sure you're told when our next video goes live. Thanks on behalf of the entire TE crew go out to the folks on my right for being our $15 to $49 a month supporters. Special thanks to our $50 a month patrons. That's Chris Maxwell, Bennett Elder, Brian Newton, Dave Kitchen, Michael Goad, Ricky Leon, Andrew Martin, Guido Drahota, Brophy Wolf, Tazla and the Gong, Gordon C, Stephen O'Donoghue, Carl Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Rory Litzman, Anonymous Freak, Jim Burness, Chris Ascenter and Danny Hyde. And our deepest gratitude to our $100 a month supporters, Marcel Ward, Reggie Watts, Joe Bresney, JP Fagerback, Will Graylin, Matthew Drobnak, John Lyons, Christopher Lee Jones, Andrew Glenn, Paul Conway, Laura Reynolds, Ellery Hensley, and Ian. If you would like to be part of that amazing list, you can join Patreon at the link below. You can hit the join button to support us on YouTube, or you can show us your support through Ko-fi or by buying something from our cool swag store. And if you are unable to support us financially, please know that just watching the video, interacting with it, leaving comments, and sharing it really does make a difference to the analytics and ultimately our ad revenue. Thanks for joining me, and as always, keep evolving.